watching perfect.
You're going to Float Fest. You put that as a standard on your list. I mean, why? Because it's Texas.
Well, hell yeah. No, I use Float, and I love the people to work with. Actually, one of the lead devs for Float is my former co-host with the Crypto Show. And he still does. We still do some stuff together every once in a while. And it's Chuck Williams. He was a former dev. He was a front-end dev for Dash when I was sponsored by Dash.
Really?
So he and I did all of the Bloomberg radio stuff together.
Really? Yeah, I had Chuck in. So you guys worked together quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know Chuck from that. I got to know him as one of the devs for Float now.
Yeah.
Or CXO, where the hell that is.
Yeah.
Chief Technical Officer. And I go, well, what does that do? Well, I just kind of direct and kind of I get a title.
Yeah.
You got initials. And he and Alex, are both CXOs for Float. And I told Derek about it, and he goes, well, what's a CXO? I go, well, they're the Chief Technical Officer. And what do they do? Well, they just make sure, stuff. And he goes, there any meetings? And I go, no, he goes, well, I'm a CXO now.
Yeah, right.
I have absconded that title. That's all I'm going to be. So,
Chuck's done some pretty good stuff. I think he's got code in Federal Express and some of their stuff, and the Dash wallet. And he's got a pretty good list of stuff that he's actually done. He's no slouch.
One of the things that we want to talk about is Hush.is, because this technology, as I originally understood it, and correct me if I get some of the facts wrong. When Satoshi did the first block, there was a message there's a memo field in there that you can do. It's like a Twitter, it's 100 and something characters or 80
it was. I don't even remember what it was. It's something to do with the housing crash or whatever. But it was.
Yeah, he said, you guys, screwed up, and this is a solution. You guys can suck it. This is against central banking. So he made it pretty clear why he was doing it. But how did he transmit, or how did that get part of the first block, that memo field get in there? And I'm going, so wait a minute. You can do a crypto transaction, and in that transaction, the transaction itself, not like the Bitcoin or whatever, in that transaction, there's a memo field that you can do stuff.
Yeah, it's called BitMessage.
Yeah, I'm going, that's like secret texting.
Sure.
That can only be opened up by the guy that's got the key to. I'm going, well, what the hell, man? How come we're not doing that? So then Hush.is is kind of taking advantage of that capability, right?
You have the same capability with Zcash. All of the forks from Zcash have this capability.
Well, Zcash was kind of a fork from Bitcoin too, right?
Right, it's a fork of Bitcoin using zero knowledge.
It's a movie.
Financially, I guess I'm a Bitcoin maximalist as far as I hold Bitcoin for value, and the other projects that I'm interested in are for what they can do. I don't really dabble in anymore as far as trusting other coins with value. I'm pretty staunch on Bitcoin for that. That's where my value lies, but. My interest in Hush is the messaging system and the privacy, and
where did Hush come from?
Hush was one of the original forks of Zcash. So,
how long ago was that?
2016. So Zcash was launching, and they hadn't even gone live yet, and Komodo jumped in and used Zcash's code, I guess, and went live before them. But Zcash is actually that's where all the original code comes from. And
Zcash was kind of a privacy thing,
right?
And it hit pretty hard.
And then
they forked from that Zencash.
Yeah, but that was later. Zencash came, I think, after.
And that turned into Horizon.
That came after Hush. Hush was about 2 months later. 2 months after. Zcash launched. It was just a few 2 or 3 months.
When you were talking about using it as value, and then you have other features, I was looking for the features that was promised that kept getting snatched away on Bitcoin. I'm going, you lying sacks of snot. So I'm pissed off. I just go, but you confused them at the ATM with Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, you confused me with Bitcoin because you said it did this and it doesn't. Yeah. So you lying sacks of snot. So I got an argument there. But the point is that I wanted to support one that had the features that I want, and security and privacy, of course, is way up there, but anonymity and everything. But I go, all right, which one of these do that kind of thing? When Horizon came out, or Zencash, or God, what they called it. There was Zcash, then Zencash, and that. Then it became Horizon. That was one I put a chunk into because I could see what they were doing.
Right.
And I go, all right, these are the features that I want. Well, it went from $2 to gabillion, $2 to, like more. I don't know, it's probably, 30 now, but it's been as much as 150 or whatever. It's one of my go-tos, you know. And I don't spend those. I just keep adding them.
I wanted to, when I first started considering that's how I ended up with Hush, is looking at these Z projects, and, I already knew everybody from Zencash and, Robert Viglione and all them. Right. And I was interested.
He was at Z before?
Yeah, he's with Zencash, Robert Viglione.
Yeah, no. He Horizon.
Yeah.
And then, but he was working on the project before and then walked off.
No, he's still with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Robert is still with them. And I was considering using Zen, but if you wanted to fork Zen, if you wanted a side chain from Zen, you have to have gas. It's just like Ethereum, and that's the thing with Monero, where it's at right now. It's on Aspire, and you have this thing where you got to have gas. I don't want gas. I don't want that extra layer of bullcrap in there. So I started looking elsewhere, and with Komodo, and I even considered Tezos, and the first one that we actually looked at was Hush, but I didn't hear back from the developer, and Jason actually connected me with them. And then I met him at PorkFest last year. Josh, there, one of the developers at Hush, and he, I caught the attention of the lead developer, and then we started talking, and I, just took a deeper and deeper dive into what they're doing, and they're just hardcore about everything. They want to strip out the JavaScript. They don't want,
no part is better part.
Right. So it's sometimes less is more, and with them, that's kind of the deal. They won't do business with KYC exchanges, and that's why the lead developer of Hush left Komodo. He was a developer with Komodo, and he didn't agree with Komodo going to KYC exchanges, and that's kind of why. Actually, Pirate Chain comes from his idea of just having the Z to Z transactions.
Okay, let's talk about what that means. The privacy limitation on a lot of these others is when they do KYC, know your customer, it has to be to where you're identified.
Right.
That's one of the, that's one of the first things. It's just another link in the blockchain to the crown.
Yeah.
And they're going, to get on the exchanges, to get, where the man's not bugging you, to get, it's all these incentives, pleasure and pain. They give you enough pain and enough pleasure, you'll do whatever the hell they tell you to do.
Right.
And, but then you start seeing it, and I've been watching this. God, how long's it been? 9 and 10 is 19, so 10, 12, 13, over a decade. And I've seen it's a philosophy, and the philosophy is supported by the tech, or it's not. And there's somebody else's philosophy, and they want to turn it into the tech, and they got a bunch of money, and here's $80 million, I'm from whatever, and I control Blockstream, and the guy is the chairman of Bilderberger for 2 years. And I'm going, well, how much deeper do I got to dig, man? I mean, damn, So this is Hush, when it comes in, it has a lot of these privacy features from a desire, from a focus of certain developers from the beginning.
Well, from the beginning, it wasn't privacy by default. The first team members, it was basically just like Zcash. Like, if you look at Zcash right now, I think the majority of their transactions were actually transparent transactions. So why not just be Bitcoin? It's a transparent transaction. Everybody can see where it came from, where it went to. And with Pirate and Hush, they've taken the approach of privacy by default, so that every transaction that doesn't come out of the Coinbase is going to be a private transaction. I think the problem with Pirate is that they're doing business with some KYC exchanges, and with they still have JavaScript and stuff in a lot of their apps and stuff. So their version of extreme privacy, I don't think is quite as extreme as Hush, and that's what attracted me to Hush. And
now, is Hush
the guy's known for being like the lead developer can be abrasive, and a lot of people don't like him because he's just one of those guys that.
Well, is Pirate Chain R, which we got a chunk of because pirates and privacy and nudes and everything. So it's you're not thinking it's as private or as good as Hush can be.
I don't think it's as good as Hush either because one of the defining features of Hush is Seach, which it's like from Dune, right? It's taken from Dune. Seach is just something from Dune. That's what they named it after because the developer, the main developer goes by the name Duke Leto, which Anyway, Seach is something from Dune, so they named it after that. But what it does?
Send me an email. What the hell Seach has to do with Dune?
He took the ideas of Monero and applied that to Zcash. And what I mean by that is you have a Zcash transaction, and the way Monero does 11 decoys, but one of them is the actual transaction. Well, they're taking
what?
Monero is essentially you've got 11 decoys. One of them is real. That's the real transaction. That's what Monero does for its privacy. Is it hides in a group of 11, right? Well, Zcash is hiding in however many transactions has happened before that. They're all added up, and that's the anonymity set. Monero's 11. Zcash is however many. Every time there's a new transaction, it's more. Well, what this guy did is he added Seach on top of that. So now you have all of these Zcash transactions plus times 8. So now you've got 8 times of what everybody. That's why the highest anon set is Hush, is because they're putting so many outputs out. And I've seen it argued, oh, that's fake. Well, so is Monero with their 11. That's the whole point of it, is to make as many as possible. Hush is approaching a million anon set. The anon set is high as 1 million. Right now it's like
if I gotta 900. Go find your transaction, I gotta go look.
You got to look through 900. Right now, 930,000 other transactions.
Yeah, but NSA goes, that's breakfast. We got big computers. Whatever.
Well, I mean, Pirate's current one is around 530 or 550, somewhere in there, with a lot, and they have a lot more transactions. It's just the velocity that the anon set grows for Hush is much higher because of that 8x output.
Are you feeling that those are feeling it's slipping away, or they're overcoming?
They're probably going to be using Hush for the CIA and everybody else to make their secret plans with. But whatever, as long as we can make our secret plans too.
Just don't stop me. It's all good. So Hush's future plans is what? Now, are you going to maintain Monero?
So we're, Well, I still have Monero. It's an idea. It's just an idea of doing memes to get people who don't know how to mine a way of getting the coins. So they would come on to Monero in our chat and post memes, and I'll send them the Dragon X coins, which are this super private thing, which is a whole other thing altogether.
So it's a meme in support of Monero.
Right.
So it's kind of like a dash model.
Yeah, it's like you make a poop meme, and we're going to send you some privacy coins because
I've seen
mining is hard.
Stuff.
Mining is hard.
But so this is like crypto for burgeoning. Crypto
right. Yeah, get some new people in it. Have fun. I mean, memes are fun, and memes are a way of expressing ideas. So, why not?
Because why not?
Yeah.
Why not? If Daddy's doing it, I keep going on. Going, when do I?
Yeah.
So
they're testing the code. We could have just jumped right out there and gone with the same code that Hush has and used ASICs mining. So Hush is ASICs only right now with Equihash algorithms.
Okay. Whoa, audience. ASIC, application-specific integrated circuits. It's like. Right. To mine it, you have to have like a built-for miner specific something,
Right.
you know, and as opposed to just your computer or phone or graphic card or something. So this is mined with, you got to buy the miner from somebody?
Yeah, or you can rent the hash from Nice Hash or whatever, and you could mine Hush. I mean, recently Hush has been actually the most profitable to mine with Equihash and everything. So using rented hash power or using your own hash power.
So
whatever.
Equihash is just a rented.
Yeah, Equihash is the algorithm that they're.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, so where I was going with the smart chain that we're putting out, I was like, well, I really want to be able to do this with a computer. I want CPU. I want people to be able to do it with their laptop. And it's like, why not RandomX, which is what Monero uses. And he said, all right, well, we'll work on that. So I put the call out in one of the privacy channels, and I was like, hey, does anybody develop on RandomX? And I apparently ended up attracting one of the top developers of RandomX, of the RandomX code, and that person helped write this new algorithm so that we can mine Zcash coins with Monero's algorithm, which is RandomX. So it'll be the first
You're bringing it down to the people.
It's the first ZK coin that's using RandomX mining algorithm. So they're everything's written, but they're doing the bug testing and all that right now. So as soon as that's ready, then we'll release that.
So this is going to change the planet in what way?
Well, the main thing that I thought was great about it was the chat feature, which all of the ZKs have that, but with Hush you have this extra layer of encryption on top of it, so it's super secure and it's built into the wallet. It's a feature of your wallet. Right now they're only laptop.
So you have a wallet that has Signal on it.
You have a wallet that has the same features as Signal, only if you look at Telegram, Signal, and all these other messaging apps, every time you have a friend who just opened
a Signal account.
Guess what? I'm on Signal, and the whole frickin' world knows.
I see you.
Yeah. Well,
that's what. Whenever I get on my phone, I'll get a message, and it'll say so and so in my contact list just joined Telegram or Signal, and I'm going, well, how the hell secure is that? They just, I totally agreed, and they went through my contact list, So I'm going. The reason I do that, I go, I see, because a lot of them are noobs, that newbies, they don't know what's going on. And I go, I see you, and they see it from Enrie Hancock. Yeah. And I get it, see what? I go, what, do you think your contact list was private? And just FYI.
Right.
They said it was encrypted into, maybe the text if you do it right, but they know who you're talking to, which is most of what I didn't want to know anyway.
With Signal, they don't know what you're saying, but they know who you're saying it to.
Liberty guy talking to another Liberty guy about probably Liberty.
They're planning something.
The traffic.
So with this idea, we have the the encryption of Signal in the messaging. But how do we do it so that nobody knows who we're talking to? So we're using the shielded transactions with Zeke.
Well, it has value right there as a texting app. Is that how you're promoting it, or is it so the value of the crypto itself is gets its value from its features?
And you can take it a step further and say you only get 238 characters that you can send in this, because that's all that's allowed. With other Z coins, I think you can do like 512 or whatever it is, but they don't have that extra layer of encryption that Hush has added onto that. So that's what cut it in half because they did that. And IPFS, that's your baby there, right? Well, Onion Share.
The features are
right. So
I don't give a crap about IPFS. What it does.
What I would envision the wallet for Dragon X to have is maybe a button or something that can just take you directly to Onion Share, and you can load your file and then come right back to your wallet and send that hash. So nobody knows this large encrypted file. Nobody knows what you sent to somebody in a large encrypted. You want the opposite with IPFS. You want everybody to know where it's at, and the more people using it, and the more people see it, and all that.
Well, that is okay. What we're talking about, so you guys understand, the difference. When you, what he's talking about with Hush is that you can take a file and you encrypt it. Okay, when you encrypt it, what you're doing is you're taking all this data and it creates a hash. It looks like a Bitcoin address or something, and it's like an address of what it is. It's a name. Here's that, but it hashes it, which is a hashing is you put in data and it does an algorithm and it goes plus this, minus this, times this, whatever, boom, and it comes up with a hash. That hash represents all that data, that game program, that file, that video, that whatever, and you don't know where, unless you have that hash, you can't find it, unless you're monkeys pounding on keyboards for eternity, and you might come up with it, but, it's how many atoms in the universe kind of thing. Well, what happens is that hash, to find that, you get it, like with IPFS, you get that hash, but, who got it? And what is the hash? Well, the communication on Hush keeps that private and secret. Nobody else has got it, unless you want them to. So then you send it to them, but when you send it to them, you want it to be in a secret, nobody else can see it, so then you're private.
Well, the messaging itself is also doing that 8x output. So you've got plausible deniability on how many people you sent it to, because there's a bunch of decoy transactions that went out. And even the messaging itself is acting as a transaction, which is adding into the anonymity set. So the more you message, the stronger the anonymity actually gets.
So you have a method by which to store data, which is addresses of every judge that, should be sent manure on the front porch or whatever, right? So this is the one thing that the man does not like. They do not want you sharing information and them not knowing who did it and how and tracking down the whatever. And this, has happened a bunch of times on different, memes and so. I remember them making a big deal out of, it started, some viral effort. I think like Occupy started this way. It came from one guy's phone in Brazil that then it hit and it got taken up by it exploded and we were able to track it. Who's that son of a bitch? And that guy is like, God, man, I just did a text and it turned into a thing, man. It's not my problem, But they want that capability. Hush allows you to take these files and messages and everything, you put them up, you get a hash, you can share it with other people. During all of that, it's all secret, private, and they can't find it, okay? They don't like that, okay? That's not good. They want to be able to track everything. So you're seeing this being used as what? A replacement for a lot of the messaging apps, and or is it a new crypto, or the value of the crypto is from its features as a messaging app?
It's valued as a crypto or as a messaging app, whichever way you want to use it.
Well, it's valued as a
same
crypto
thing that gives
of the privacy.
what gives Pirate, what gives Zcash, what gives Bitcoin its value is people want to use
features.
it. Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the feed. You got private, super private messaging.
Yeah.
Well, boom. Value.
Finally, you can send dick pics without anyone knowing.
Right. Now, this is all these 13. I remember. I tell this story sometimes to kind of illustrate this. We were on the driveway, Halloween, with some family and everything. They had some friends over, and there was a bunch of these, 13 to 16-year-old kids sitting there, and we were talking. They were talking about Snapchat or whatever. I go, you guys know that's not private, right? Oh no, it deletes in 6 seconds. I go, but there's your permanent record.
Yeah,
they got a permanent record. And this one 13-year-old girl, I thought she was going to be ill. She turned white, and she was Hispanic. She visibly got. Whoa!
Uh-oh.
They lied to me. I should definitely not have sent those pics, you know. And I'm going, whoa, that girl's got something to hide, man.
Right.
Something happened. And so if you don't know, you can get yourself in trouble. And the people that get into trouble the most are the ones that think they're private. Then they're not. I never, if I can see it on my screen, I just say they can see it. So I need, I want to know. That's one thing that Hush is something I'd put on here.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Well, we're working on getting there's an Android app right now, but all it actually does is you have to set.
This is F-Droid and whatever the hell,
Well, you have to set up your wallet on your home computer or your laptop or whatever, and the Android app for Hush actually is just like a remote control. So it calls your computer up and says, okay, send that transaction. It doesn't hold, so they don't.
Does my computer have to be on? And
probably, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
this is something. Is there an APK for putting on there?
No, not yet.
All right. Well,
I mean,
when you get it, let me know.
Well, you can just get it in the App Store. It's on the Silent Dragon Android is the app, but it's just a remote control. It tells your wallet what to do. It doesn't hold your coins or any of that. But we're working on getting that, and we're going to put it on F-Droid.
Well, I don't necessarily need to. It's just it's nice to have an option of which is what this phone's going to be. Mm-hmm. I got my Verizon bend me over do me phone, and then I have a T-Mobile, another Samsung A7 or whatever the hell it is over there that I am able to back up everything on this phone to that phone, so I got backup because I forgot my phone yesterday around somewhere and I found it. But I'm always especially at festivals and recreating, and I put down my phone. But the thing is that I have that backup over there. But a lot of this stuff I want backed up and kind of do whatever. I need a privacy phone for when I want to go private and oh my God, maybe you want to communicate. And I have it. What specific thing do I have? I don't know. But I know it's going to come. I can tell you that. At some point I'm going to be private, and I'm going to want to send private transactions if I need access to mine, do some trade. Well, like you say, Jason Henza over here, he's the AV guy, one of the guys at Anarchapulco who became friends. And whenever I needed pesos, he's like, yeah, got some Monero?
Yeah.
So he's taking all my Monero and me getting cash.
Yeah.
But it was a lot cheaper, more convenient. I'd have to stand in front of an ATM, get my picture taken in Mexico, So I'm like, all right, I would do that. So I got to charge that back up.
Ernie went home with no Monero.
Yeah, a little bit, but he got more than I wanted to give him. But, whatever, such is life. But being able to do these kinds of things, it's always good for the freedom community to have anonymity and privacy, security. These are features that are going to be of value.